Hello movie fans, dude movie lovers. As I promised, today we're going to start with the three Korean gangster movies that I spoke of. And I decided to start with one of the hardest movies I've seen in a long time. And the name of it is The Man from Nowhere. By the way, I'll tell you right now, available on Netflix right now. Matter of fact, all three of these are. So, as I tell you, these three are the you got to watch it movies. When I get off of this, jump on and watch these movies. I am not BSing you. Okay? The Man from Nowhere. I'm going to start in an unusual place. I'm going to start at the end as far as my review. It has one of the best final fight sequences I have ever seen. And I'm including some of the most classic fight sequences that we all bow down to. Well, here we go. I made a list of the top three that popped into my head. And probably every dude out here, bing, got the same one. But first of all, the battle between Mel Gibson and Gary Busey at the end of Lethal Weapon. Toe it up. And the escape sequence of Mel Gibson with one of those great quotables, "Who's fucking next?" One of the great fight scenes ever done in action pictures. Awesome. Can't say nothing about it. Yeah. Oh, another classic. Pierce Brosnan's first appearance as 007 in GoldenEye. The battle sequence between 007, Pierce, and 006, his former best friend, traitor, Sean Bean, when they fight on that giant satellite and they fight down the stairs. Those British gentlemen threw down like they were from North Philly. It was awesome. I love that fight sequence. Sometimes I'll watch the GoldenEye, which I love the movie. I love the whole thing. But sometimes I'll just turn it on, same with the previous movie, and just watch that sequence, and then, okay, I'm good. And then, of course, there's always, oh yes, I was going to say Matt Damon in any of the Jason Bourne movies, because that dude, who knew he could fight his ass off? I did not think of that. Matt Damon, wow, he's a badass. Give him his props. But the fight scene what I'm talking about, which will go down in dude history, is in the second of the Bourne movies, where he is fighting in that Paris apartment. Is it Bourne Supremacy? I think it's Bourne Supremacy in the second one. I can't remember. We'll check later. But in the second of the Bourne films, there's a sequence where he has to fight another agent like himself in a tiny little Paris apartment, and the style of fight they adapted for that close in place with the elbows. I just hit my table. It's a gorgeous. It was fighting ballet, beautiful. Okay, I just put up some of the greatest fight sequences ever. Okay, this movie, the last fight scene, two fight scenes in this, makes all of those movies look like the participants were pussies. Okay, that's how good the scene is. But let me quickly go back and give you my review of The Man from Nowhere. Short version, Korean gangster picture. You got an outsider living on his own, doesn't mind, stays away from everybody else, minds his own business, or associates with no one, has one person that he kind of likes, a little girl who's shunned and an outcast on her own, got a horrible mother, blah, 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 blah. And for the first 20 minutes of the film, you see how horrible this little girl's life is, and you build up sympathy for her, and you feel protective of her as you assume this guy who keeps her at a distance. As a matter of fact, he treats her almost like Clint Eastwood in The Outlaw Josie Wales, when that dog that he's riding that follows him around, he spits on his forehead all the time. But he really likes the dog. He treats her almost like that. He doesn't spit on the child, for God's sake. But, in any case, as the story unfolds, something horrible happens. The little girl and her mom are abducted. Her mom kind of deserves it. Little girl, not so much. Not at all. and these horrible men do horrible things, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Ilona is dragged into this, and because he actually does like this little girl, he gets involved in trying to find her. And when you, as the story unfolds, you realize that these gangsters, who are brutes, have bitten off way more than they can chew, and so have the police. And this, it's everything that we like in a Dune movie, except the quotables, because it's in Korean. Although, you know, you can read the dialogue and follow along, and they say stuff, but, you know, it's not as snappy as when it's in your native tongue. But that aside, the action makes up for everything else. The bad guys are bad. The good guy is plaid, and he will go there with you if you take him there. I got to say, this is one of my favorite movies. It's in the top 10 or 15 favorite action movies that I've watched in a really long time. And it was funny, last year I found 3 of them, and these are the 3 we're going to do. So today, that review was for The Man from Nowhere. You have been watching the Dude List. Thank you very much. Go check that movie out right now. Go!